Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that takes a whole pile of information, digs through it, and pulls out the key nuggets so you can get informed fast.
That's the goal.
So today, we're tackling a subject that feels a bit like, well, maybe a necessary evil for some,
Yeah.
but it's actually super critical and always changing. Cyber insurance.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some excerpts here from the Complete Guide to Cyber Insurance. And our mission, really, is to figure out what it is. What does it actually cover, and why should you even care? Okay, let's unpack this.
It's definitely a critical area to understand. I mean, the sheer scale of cyber risks now, it's just growing. You hear about these huge data breaches, ransomware hitting companies.
All the time.
Exactly. So figuring out how to handle the financial side of that risk, building some resilience, it's more vital than ever, honestly.
Yeah, that complexity is exactly why we need to get into this. It's not just about trying to prevent attacks anymore, is it? Seems like dealing with the fallout is just as big.
That's a huge part of it now, yes.
So, okay, let's start right at the beginning. For anyone listening who's heard the term thrown around but isn't totally clear, what is cyber insurance exactly?
Right. So at its heart, cyber insurance, and you might hear it called cyber liability or cyber risk insurance, they're sort of interchangeable terms.
Okay.
It's essentially a policy. It's designed to help protect businesses and sometimes individuals too from the financial losses that come from, well, cyber incidents.
So like data breaches, hacks.
Precisely. Data breaches, various kinds of cyber attacks, ransomware, other tech-related risks. It covers a pretty broad range of costs and liabilities that can pop up. Think of it like a crucial safety net for our digital world.
That safety net idea makes sense. It helps frame it. It sounds almost like, I don't know, car insurance, but for your data or your online operations. Is that a fair comparison?
It's a helpful starting point, yeah. Like car insurance, it offers financial protection after an incident.
Mhm.
But the analogy only goes so far. Well, think about a car crash. It's usually pretty tangible, right? You see the damage. A cyber attack. That's often invisible, at first anyway. And the damage isn't just the immediate hit to your systems.
Right, there's more to it.
Exactly. It's the ripple effect. Damage to your reputation, maybe regulatory investigations popping up, potential lawsuits down the line. Plus, your business might be completely stalled for weeks. It's just intricate, much more so than a fender bender.
That makes sense. The invisible nature, the long tail of consequences.
Yeah.
So if it's this complex safety net, what does it actually, catch? How's the protection structured? I heard it breaks down into two main areas.
That's right, yeah. Two main categories generally. The first one is what we call first-party coverage.
Okay, first party.
This is all about the direct losses that you, the insured person or company, experience. It's focused on getting your own house back in order after an incident.
Makes sense. What kind of things are covered there?
Well, quite a bit, actually. There's data breach response. Think about the cost of figuring out who is affected, sending out notifications, maybe offering credit monitoring. That's often covered.
That alone sounds expensive.
It really can be. Then there's business interruption. So if a cyber incident knocks your systems offline and you lose income because you can't operate, this helps cover that lost revenue.
Okay, that seems vital. And isn't there something about ransomware payments in here? That part always seems really tricky.
You're right on. First-party coverage often includes cyber extortion. And yes, that can explicitly cover costs tied to ransomware, potentially including the ransom payment itself.
Wow. So paying the hackers. Insurance might cover that.
It often can, yes.
Yeah.
It's controversial, obviously. Law enforcement usually advises against paying, but for a business, especially a smaller one, sometimes paying feels like the only way to get their systems back quickly without going under.
A really tough spot.
It is. The insurance policy sort of de-risks that incredibly difficult decision, financially speaking. But, it definitely fuels that whole debate about whether it encourages more crime. It just shows how complex these situations get.
Yeah, that's a really sticky point. Not just the disruption, but the actual cost of maybe paying to get your data back.
What else is under first party?
So beyond those, you've also got things like data recovery, the cost of actually restoring or rebuilding lost or damaged data. There's forensic investigation costs, which is paying experts to figure out how the breach happened, what the scope was.
The detective work.
Exactly. And then crisis management. This could be hiring a PR firm to handle the reputational fallout or legal advice related to managing the crisis itself. One thing to watch with breach response, by the way, is the scope. Does it cover everyone affected, or is there a limit per incident? Those details matter.
Good point. Okay, so that's first party, covering your own losses. What's the second category?
That's third-party coverage. This is about your liabilities to other people, customers, business partners, maybe even regulators. Ah, okay. So if the problem spreads or affects others.
Precisely. This includes things like privacy liability. Let's say customer data gets compromised from your system and those customers sue you. That's where this comes in.
Right.
Then there's network security liability. This could cover lawsuits if, say, malware spreads from your network and harms someone else, or if your system is used in a denial of service attack against another company.
Okay, so responsibility for downstream effects.
Yes. And importantly, some policies also cover regulatory fines and penalties. Think GDPR or various state-level data privacy laws. If you're found non-compliant after a breach, the fines can be massive. This coverage can help with that, although policy details vary a lot by region and law.
Wow, so it's not just about cleaning up your own mess, but also protecting your relationships, your reputation with partners and customers, and staying on the right side of the law. What's the biggest, maybe, misunderstanding businesses have about these third-party risks?
I think a common one is assuming their standard general liability policy might cover some of this. It almost certainly won't. Cyber is usually a specific exclusion. Or they just underestimate the sheer scale of the legal and compliance side.
It sounds like it could snowball quickly.
Oh, absolutely. A single breach could trigger investigations from multiple regulators, maybe in different countries, each with its own rules and potential penalties. The fines are one thing, but just the cost of lawyers defending you across all those fronts can be huge.
Yeah, I can see that. Given all this complexity, then, I imagine there must be even more specialized types of cyber insurance out there, beyond just first and third party.
There are, yes. You can often get policies or ad endorsements that focus on very specific risks. For example, errors and omissions insurance or E&O.
Okay.
This is really crucial for tech companies, software developers, IT service providers. If you make a mistake in your service or your product, say a software update you push out crashes your client systems, E&O can cover the claims from that client for their losses.
Ah, so liability for your professional services failing.
Exactly. It's a key protection when your tech is critical to someone else's business. Then you have policies more tightly focused, like network security liability insurance, which specifically zooms in on lawsuits from breaches or attacks, or privacy liability insurance, doubling down on claims related to protecting sensitive info.
Got it. More specific angles.
Right. There's also media liability insurance. This is for things like online content, maybe claims of copyright infringement, trademark issues, defamation related to what you publish online.
Interesting. Didn't think of that link.
And business interruption insurance can sometimes be a standalone policy focused just on that lost revenue during downtime from a cyber event. And finally, cybercrime insurance. This one specifically targets financial losses from things like phishing scams, social engineering, wire transfer fraud, direct theft of funds via digital means.
Okay, so it really seems like you can, or maybe need to, tailor the protection quite specifically depending on what your biggest worries are.
That's the idea, yes. Matching the coverage to your specific risk profile is key. But it also means choosing the right mix can be, well, a bit daunting.
No kidding. So that brings us to the big question for everyone listening. What does this all mean for you? Who should actually be thinking seriously about getting cyber insurance? Is it just giant corporations?
Oh, absolutely not. That's probably the biggest myth. The scope is incredibly wide now. Yes, large corporations need it, but businesses of all sizes should be considering it.
Really? Even small businesses?
Definitely. Especially any business that handles sensitive customer data. Think retailers processing payments, healthcare providers with patient records, financial advisors, even small ones, banks, obviously. Technology companies themselves are prime candidates, software firms, cloud providers, fintech, anyone whose business is technology, e-commerce sites, any online platform, really. They face constant threats of breaches and ransomware.
Makes sense. High visibility targets.
Financial institutions, naturally, given the money involved, and professional services, lawyers, accountants, consultants, they often hold a ton of confidential client data. They're very exposed.
Okay, that covers a lot of ground for businesses. But you mentioned individuals earlier. That kind of surprised me. How does that work?
Yeah, that's a really important point and a growing area. We usually think of these massive corporate hacks, right? But cyber risk hits individuals too.
How so, typically? Identity theft.
Identity theft is a big one, yes. Fraudulent use of your personal data. Even cyber extortion attempts targeting individuals directly. Imagine someone locking you out of all your personal accounts or stealing financial details.
That sounds terrifying.
It is. So personal cyber insurance is emerging, particularly for people maybe with a higher net worth or just a very significant online presence. It can help cover costs like hiring IT forensics to recover your accounts or data, legal fees if you need them, and the whole stressful process of restoring your identity.
Wow. So it's like a shield for your personal digital life, too.
In a way, yes, it's protection for your digital footprint, which for most of us now is pretty expensive.
That really drives home just how widespread this digital risk is. It's not just a business problem anymore. It touches our personal lives directly. It feels like something almost anyone active online should probably think about, maybe in ways they hadn't considered.
I think that's fair to say yes. The awareness is still catching up sometimes.
Okay, so let's try and pull this together. We've gone pretty deep today into cyber insurance. We started with, what it actually is, basically, that policy, that safety net for digital risks.
Right.
Then we unpack the two main kinds of coverage. First party, which is about your direct losses, things like breach response costs, getting your business back online, even dealing with ransomware.
Your immediate fallout.
Exactly. And then third party coverage, which handles your liability to others, customers, partners, regulators, if your problem affects them, covering lawsuits, fines.
Protecting you from the downstream consequences.
We also touched on those more specialized policies, like E&O for tech providers, or cybercrime insurance for fraud. And crucially, we talked about who needs it, not just big companies, but businesses of all sizes, various professions, and surprisingly, perhaps, even individuals looking to protect their personal digital selves.
It's a broad church now.
It really is. Hopefully, this dive gives you a much clearer picture, a real shortcut to understanding this vital piece of the modern risk puzzle.
Absolutely. And, looking at all this, the current landscape, it does raise a further question, doesn't it?
Oh, what's that?
Well, we're getting more and more reliant on these incredibly interconnected digital systems. We see new threats emerging all the time, maybe driven by things like AI in the future. So how does cyber insurance itself need to change? How will the coverage have to evolve to actually keep pace with risks we haven't even fully imagined yet?
That's a really potent thought. Understanding today's protection is one thing.
But thinking about how we'll manage tomorrow's digital vulnerabilities, that's the ongoing challenge, something to keep in mind.
Definitely something profound to mull over as you navigate your own digital world. Well, thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We hope you feel a little more clued in and maybe a bit more secure in understanding today's digital landscape.